Howdy, Bard here, and as you may or may not be able to see in the upper right hand corner of the screen, this is the Division public test server at last scan 1.7.01, and what we're looking at so far is the addition of 5- and 6-piece bonus sets to various different gear sets. And I'll cover each of those in just a brief description of each one of them. But the one thing I did notice is there was a supply crate, so I went ahead and decided to go check it out. I got all the major DLC, but I do not have the one that's the season pass. I just didn't do it. I mean, I've already got the other DLC, so why do I need a season pass? But went ahead and came out here to open up the crate.
Supply drop collected.
That red circle is probably
Update.
not good.
Drop sites have been cleared.
Alright, so the first thing I noticed whenever you walked into the base of operations, there's a global events room. You've got a progress report, a global events area, and a global events vendor. As of this time, there is no global event going on, so I won't have any video of that yet. But you can check progress on the global event, or you can see a global event summary here of each of the different portions of it: kills, performance, mods, missions, and which of the caches that you've bought. And supposedly these caches are going to be 3 available for each one of the global events of the different armor sets. And this just, as you see, activities. Nothing currently going on, but oh well. The global events vendor currently doesn't have anything for sale. Kind of sucks, but oh well. You can sell things, you can buy back things, but there's nothing to buy just yet from the vendor. Hopefully they'll have something in the next couple days. I'm not sure what's going to be there yet, but we'll find out. And I would assume that you would go through there to launch into a global event. There's going to be different buffs and so forth that are associated with each of the global events. And as they become available, we'll actually look at them and review them together. Now, one thing I did notice is I'm standing here, I noticed that there's a room behind me. This hasn't been available before, so naturally I gotta explore. I'm gonna walk in, look around. There's one thing to interact with, and it's something that's been missing from this game for quite some time as well. Doesn't seem very significant, but what if you created your character and you didn't like your beard, or you didn't like the markings you put on? The only thing you can't change is if you're gonna be male or female. But you can change your hairstyles, your facial hair, your hair color, markings, accessories, glasses, so forth. The options that you use when you first created your character, up until now, there's been no way of actually going back and changing it. So once you created it, if you didn't like the way it looked, you needed to re-roll. And it kind of sucked. So it's nice having this little room here where you can go in there and just, swap things around and make yourself look pretty. Just like me. Not everybody can be this freaking sexy. Now, when you come to the special equipment vendor, you've got all the usual suspects of things that you can buy like normal. But at the bottom, you have... Come on, get there. Get there. There you go. Really expensive gear caches. For each of the new gear sets that have the expanded abilities. And what I've done is I went ahead and I bought all of the different gear caches, and I've gone ahead and changed to a different character where I could just delete all of his equipment because I didn't care. This covers the encrypted caches right here. The vendor has a new section called encrypted caches, and they're primarily going to be just cosmetic stuff. Weapon skins, paints, and clothing items. I did pick up a new cowboy hat, which is kind of nice, but it's brown. But, oh well. I did pick up a couple weapon skins. think I actually recorded it, but as you once you open the cache, you get all 6 pieces of that armor set, and there's going to be a way of discerning these as being classified by the little folder icon you see right there. That little folder icon annotates that it is going to be the classified gear piece, and it's going to have the ability to run the 5 and 6 piece sets, whereas a normal, say, Deadeye or Final Measure or Centuries will not have the ability to get that 5th and 6th bonus piece. I don't know how that's going to work overall, but right now you can tell if an item is going to be that way because it has a little small folder icon, and it's right there next to the actual, on the symbol for the armor piece. Deadeye, you see, you're looking at a regular one, it doesn't have the 5 and 6 piece bonus information on it, and it's kind of glitchy back and forth. I had some issues with the Deadeye where it completely lost all the extra bonus information and wasn't able to put the piece together. So what I ended up doing, like I said, I changed over to a different character. I sold off all of his gear, to where he had nothing, no extra pieces, no nothing left over. Stripped all of his current armor down to pull all the mods out so that I could actually get a clean basis to work with. So I had a clean level 30 with the only thing that he has armor wise is going to be just the classified armor sets, because there was some confusion back and forth on can I integrate it with this and this and this, and I didn't break it down to actually see can I use a regular Deadeye vest with the classified Deadeye backpack. I haven't broken it down that far yet, but what I have come across is just the fact that I didn't always see the bonuses there. So whenever you scroll down and look where it says, 5 piece bonus and the 6 piece bonus, it wasn't always there when I had all this other inventory in. I didn't have a lot of great mods to work with here, so I'm just using what I had available on this character. This character has always been my test bed, just to screw around with to see what I could do with a DPS build or a firearms or a tank build. It's just an experimentation character. It filters down the junk that all the other characters don't get. Okay, so with a clean character and his stylish race suit and lime green accessories, we've got the loadouts. So I've got each of the loadouts set up with the new classified gear sets. You can see the Lone Star. This one rolled with 13-16 on stamina with normal regular stats. Now you get additional ammo capacity, LMG, and shotgun damage bonus, which is kind of nice. And of course, with the Lone Star, if you holster a weapon or change weapons back and forth, it'll automatically reload the next weapon. See, on this one, there's a 5 piece bonus, but I don't see a 6 piece bonus. So I could imagine you could run this set, since there is no 6 piece on it yet. You could leave off the chest piece maybe and run a Barrett's. On the Deadeye, like I said, this, you have to pardon the crappy mods they're thrown in here, but it rolled a 13-26 on stamina. You get more initial bullet stability. Come on, get your ass back down there. Don't really like the scrolling on this, where you can't pull it to exactly where you want it. But you get additional marksman rifle damage as well. And as you can read here, it increases your headshot, increases your critical hit. I'm not going to take the time to read this one all the way, but if you're running a marksman build, this might be a good way to beef up your your headshot damage and overall damage. Stats overall, it looks pretty good to me. Because, I mean, with over 5,000 on all three stats, yeah, I can live with it. It means any weapon that you use, you can actually get benefit from. Instead of having a skill build where you can only use, the free talent of each one. 1257 on firearms on the Sentry Skull harness. Additional accuracy and headshot damage. Now this one, it essentially, to break it down, is whenever you headshot an NPC, it marks it. And every headshot on the target has a 25% chance of spreading to the target next to them and applying a mark to them. And it increases your headshot damage, essentially, by making headshots. Your headshots continue to do more and more damage. If you're a good shot, in a video game, I'm not as good a shot as I could be. But if you do a lot of headshots, then this is a pretty good way to go. Whether you're close range, spraying and praying with a SMG, or if you're running a marksman build and using a MDR or marksman rifle and actually making those hits. Notice on the holster, all of them seem to have a 3.5 critical hit chance. Moving on to the striker set. With the 5-piece, additional enemy armor damage and stability. And this also... Come on, get it together. Every hit adds a self-heal bonus. I'm assuming that you would have to actually use a med kit, but for each 1,000 stamina that you have, being that I've got over or close to 5,000 on stamina, that would be times 5. Haven't spent a lot of time breaking down each individual one to actually test them yet. I'll probably spend some more time with like Final Measure, checking the hand grenade thing. And I think the Final Measure, it's a cool feature, especially on maps or missions where there's tons of hand grenade spam going on by the mobs or the NPC. The one thing I like about this is, yes, it's nice that whenever they throw a grenade, then you can actually defuse it and actually pick them up. Well, what this will do now also, if you've got the 6-piece set going, is if they throw an EMP grenade, you get a buff of skill power. If they throw basically a fire grenade, you get weapons damage increase, and if they throw a flashbang or tear gas, you get an armor increase. So you get buffs based on the grenades that they're throwing. But I think that's kind of cool, especially whenever, like I said, you're getting grenade spammed. Nice little touch. Especially when you're on a map like, Napalm Legendary, when you're trying to clear that the open area where the fuel tanker trailer is. You get out there and you get up on the second or third floor and you're just trying to hold off, and you got a couple seeker monkeys doing their thing, and you're getting grenade spammed constantly. If you don't have a good reclaimer build person next to you, which the reclaimer build is nice on this too, then you're just eating grenades the whole time. Now, the 5-piece, you get more range and duration. The 6-piece, you get faster revive time, faster healing speed, and more health for your box. The nice thing is also, if an NPC destroys your support station, there's a 25% chance that it'll actually remove the cooldown. so you can instantly redeploy it again, and chance goes up for, based on your electronics. So if you've got a high electronics build, then you get a good chance of having really, really quick respawn of your box. And if you notice, the range is pretty good overall. Like I said, with this kind of a junky gear setup, you've got a decent range, and it gives you the benefit of everything, especially whenever you're into the 4-piece, and then you continue all the way up. You get the skill recovery, the resource gain, and so forth. Everything is beefed up on you, but you get the revive capability, the heal capability, and you'll see here I've got 900 rounds plus what's in the gun itself. The ammo resupply is indispensable. Imagine if you're running a D3 build and you got somebody that's running a reclaimer build like this, can throw that box out and you can just sit there and tank away. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I'll have some more information as I get it compiled. But again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and make comments. We always want comments.